Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to talk about Commander, Tough Rules, and Cool Interactions, episode 91. Today's episode is going to continue the mini-series of looking at the steps to casting a spell. I've done 2 episodes so far dedicated to looking at weird things when it comes to casting spells, and today we'll further that by looking more at making payments that seem like they'd conflict with each other, but don't. I'll link the first 2 episodes in the video's description, so be sure to check those out if you haven't yet seen them. Okay, so you want to cast your Beast Within, which is an instant that costs 2 generic mana and a single green mana. But all you currently have available is Ashnod's Altar and Wall of Roots, that has 4 -0/-1 counters on it already. Altar lets you sacrifice a creature for 2 generic mana, and the Wall lets you once per turn put a -0/-1 counter on it to produce a green mana. And it's important to note that it has a base toughness of 5, and again, it already has 4 counters on it. So one more counter, and it is dead. So with just these 2 cards available to produce mana, can you cast your Beast Within? You may remember from the previous episodes that the Comprehensive Rules has sections 601.2G and 601.2H, which are the parts of casting a spell when you activate mana abilities, and then you pay the total costs of the spell respectively. Both the Altar and the Wall's abilities are mana abilities, so they can be used during this time to provide mana, but this is all handled at the same time. For example, if you had an Ashnod's Altar and also a Phyrexian Altar, you couldn't sacrifice the same creature to both altars, paying their sacrifice cost. Once sacrificed to one, it isn't around anymore to be sacrificed again to the other altar. So is this different when putting that final -0/-1 counter onto the Wall, resulting on it being dead from having 0 toughness, and then it not being around to be sacrificed to the altar? Or flip side of it, it being sacrificed to the altar and then not being around anymore to put the counter on it. You may have picked up on my clue earlier in the video when I said making payments that seem like they'd conflict with each other, which means that the answer here is that it seems like it shouldn't work, but yes, you can do this payment. But why? How does the game let you do this? If payments are made at the same time, how is it that you can do these 2 things that kill off your Wall of Roots? To answer this, it is partially steps to casting a spell, but we will also need to mix in a bit of another classic boogeyman of Magic rules, and that is state-based actions, or SBAs. We can see that the SBA of CR 704.5F states that if a creature has toughness 0 or less, it's put into its owner's graveyard. Regeneration can't replace this event. So why does this being an SBA matter? Why does it create this loophole? That's because that SBAs are only ever checked each time that a player would receive priority, and that doesn't occur during the process of casting a spell. So that means that you can put the counter on the Wall of Roots, and it will be a 0 toughness creature, but it will not die yet because you're still in the process of casting that Beast Within. No priority is being checked. So now you continue activating mana abilities to pay for costs, which means that you'll be sacrificing your 0 toughness Wall that is still there, very alive, and ready to be sacrificed to the altar. Finally, once the Beast Within has been paid and all the steps to casting it complete, it will exist on the stack and priority would get passed around to players, so before that would happen, the SBAs of the game would check, and now there's no Wall still around to send to the graveyard for having 0 toughness, but who cares? It's already served its purpose. Twice. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta.